G'day friends, welcome to today's YouTube video. My name is James, welcome back to my channel, welcome if you're new. Today I'm going to have a pretty relaxed and bit of a chatty video with you. I have my 3 Hobonichi Techo planners here. I get the avec, so technically 2 equals 1 year, but I did start halfway through 2020, so I only have this second half of 2020, and these are both 2021. This one is my Mina Peronen piece cover, the A6, obviously to match the A6 avec, and this is my current planner in here. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say if you see something in here that you're not supposed to see, no you didn't. That's all, because honestly, I haven't been through these. There may be like little notes about what I'm planning for the future and things that I'm deciding on. I have nothing set in stone, so even if you glean some information from some of these little entries, please don't read too much into it. Always take my announcements for what's coming up, not the little bits and pieces you might see flash on the screen. Anyway, so no, you didn't see anything. This is the second half of 2020. This is 2021, the first half, and obviously we're currently in here. I've actually got them out because I want to have a chat about planners and journals and my thoughts, but I wanted to put in lots of little bits and pieces I have lying around. I don't know if I've ever discussed this before, but aside from having actual ephemera like tubs, I do have just this random little folder that is just called Destash ephemera that I have next to my desk, and I just throw stuff in it all the time. Little bits and pieces I've done for lesson plans, like PDFs that I have to do little samples for, I draw on there. I actually have a completely separate one for Collage Club stuff because I like to keep a lot of those originals in the same place, but I think I'm going to cut up some of these stars anyway because, I mean, if worse comes to worse, I can redo these. Everything in Collage Club is scanned anyway, but I don't think I'll miss any of these green stars if I lose the original. And then other stuff randomly in here, post-it notes that I'm finished with. I still like to keep some of those things. I don't know why, but I keep some of this. I am a hoarder, paper hoarder. Proud, open, loud about it. I don't really care that much. I have these Disneyland guide maps. I don't know if they'll fit in there, but I might want to harvest something from there. I went to Disneyland the other day. Also, I got an annual pass, my magic key, so I spent yesterday inside Disneyland, in the morning anyway, just kind of working in there. I like to take my journals and just sit and people watch in the park and have some lunch, have a coffee. I went on Thunder Railroad Mountain just after lunch, literally all by myself. I love it. It's absolutely a dream come true for me. Couldn't think of a better way to spend my afternoon, especially if I'm going to do some work. So I have a video coming out that you'll actually see footage from that. It's, what is it? How I put together Collage Club. It's like a behind the scenes of Collage Club for September 2021. I'm kind of documented that entire process from start to finish. So I'm still working on it because it's not finished yet. I still have to document some of the formatting on the computer and actually the uploading and the kind of the more of the computer backend bit. But I even vlogged going in there because I was doing doodles in there that I thought I would use for Collage Club. I'm still undecided whether I want to do that or not. Anyway, separate video. But I got guide maps from Disneyland. These were test little samples for stamp sets. I was like testing sizing. These aren't the actual finished pieces, but just how big I wanted to do them. This was a little illustration for Collage Club, but this is actually, I think, the size of the stamp set that I settled on, and the design. Not fully finished though, I actually tweaked a little bit, but I did a little practice run with this. Anyway, so this is full of ephemera. I might talk about it when I go through it, I might not. I was tossing up whether I wanted to do a voiceover for this because I can usually clarify all my thoughts a little better if I'm not doing things as I'm talking. But also then, sometimes the speed throughs get a little hard to watch, not gonna lie. Like, a lot of that sped up footage. It also sets a really unrealistic look at what you can actually achieve in 10 minutes. Which, from my page in 10 videos, I think you know isn't a lot. I'm going to just destash everything into my little Hobonichis because there's still blank pages in here or little open spaces that I can put stuff into. So I definitely want to try and, fill them out as much as I can. But also some of them are very specific. And like this little illustration, I did want to put where I got my annual pass because that's a thing that happened. So I definitely want to make sure I document that here. So let's just start there because I actually have an idea for it. Anyway, the Hobonichi 2022 lineup seems to have come out. The little reveal that they do each year. I get really excited around this time. For those of you who don't know, my Hobonichi journey started with a 5-year A6 Hobonichi. I wanted to buy into the brand just because quality and I love it, but I also got really sucked into the marketing campaign of think about your last 5 years and everything that you could have documented, and the fact that I hadn't, except for that 1 year where I did Polaroid a day, made me very upset. I felt like I had missed documenting a really significant chunk of my life, so I thought, not again. I will just now document until the end of time, which very much suits my personality off the wheel. But I thought, I'm going to buy this because I don't have any other journal that can do this 5-year thing. At the time I was experimenting with MD paper notebooks in A5, and I really loved those. I still love those, but I don't use them as often. And I was doing lots of my documenting and journaling in there. And so I thought it doesn't make sense for me to get a Hobonichi A5 to replace that, because I already have beautiful journals that can do that. And also I didn't want to commit to daily documenting that way. It can be a little much to do the style of journaling that I do. I mean, I know there's a lot of different styles, but to do that kind of hardcore documenting that I would want to be doing, it would be too much for me to commit to that daily. It was kind of a struggle to commit to it weekly, to be honest, just because I have a lot of other things I do. All journaling related, but I feel like if I had an A5 Hobonichi that I did daily, that would be my entire thing. Like, there would be nothing else happening. I don't even know if I'd get around to doing workshops or teaching, because it would be endless. I honestly don't know how people manage to keep up with that. It just seems like a very unattainable goal for me. With the thing that I would want to do it with it. Does that make sense? Like, I know some people don't spend forever and a day putting together journal spreads or, you know, illustrating everything, but I know myself and I know what I'd want to do. So that's even why I got the A6 5-year, because I thought even that will take the pressure off having to actually fill every single nook and cranny with ephemera and illustrations, etc., etc. She's not going to fit on here properly. Oh, do you know what it was? I was like, I measured this perfectly so that it would fit in my A6. I did not account for the fact that she's wearing Mickey ears. So I honestly just had a moment there where I thought my stamp files are wrong, but I've drawn on top, so that makes sense. Maybe I'll just have to cut her Mickey ears off, because I like her fully standing there. I don't want to cut that off. I could also do it this way, but then she just looks like she's floating in the middle of nowhere. I'm going to cut off the top of the ears. So yeah, I don't think I could commit to that. That's a lot. And I think it all comes down to like what you want to do with it, right? It's hard to even recommend sometimes what journals people should get, because everyone's preferences are so different. And when you're just starting out, you actually don't really know what a lot of your preferences are. And so people are just trying everything, which is fun and exciting, but also very expensive. So I feel bad recommending lots of things. I always try to say like, well, I started here and, you know, this doesn't really matter in the end, but it could matter to some people. Some people do want watercolor paper because they're going to do a lot of painting. They're going to do a lot of mixed media. It's going to be more about the illustration, the painting, the art, more than the journaling. Some people are going to want to journal a lot more and write a lot more. And so maybe the paper doesn't necessarily need to be the best quality for sketching and painting. So all of that stuff, you know, unless you know all that before you start, it's kind of hard to recommend. But for me, it really works getting the A6 because it was small enough, and I did realize that my biggest problem was not having enough time to do all of it. So I couldn't just be taking on tons of different journals that I didn't actually have the time to do. I'm going to put this in here too. I don't know why I just want it in here. You know what? I'm going to leave this one. I'm going to go back to the beginning, and I'm going to go back to any of the empty pages that are in here and just slot it in. That way I can really make sure that I'm actually finishing these journals. And I know it kind of looks random to have this in here, but like I said, proud paper hoarder, and it's not hoarding if it ends up in a journal. Am I right, ladies? So yeah, I don't know. For me, I wanted something that would fit into my schedule. That's very important. I wish I could fit, like, better eating into my schedule. Not there yet. I fit a lot more Zumba into my schedule. In fact, let me just show you, and this is not even fully complete. I also explain why I put green stars in Collage Club, but I guess, short story short, they're my Zumba stars. When I go to Zumba, I put a green star. Look how many I've been fitting in there. Isn't that crazy? Very proud of that. So I wanted the journal to fit into my schedule and the planner as well. Before these, I was using Traveler's Notebook planner. And I really liked that. I thought it was really fun. You know what? I think I'm going to get it. Is it here? Yeah. Here's one. Is this the finished one? I've got patches all over my Traveler's Notebook. It's so fun. This is the one from the airport. The Narita airport. Yeah, and I have the Tokyo Station one as well. This one, oh, everything's falling. Oh! Yikes. This one is from the train station. This one is my church journal. Can you see how much more used this one is? The oils of my hand have really like softened up and made that glossy leather. This one doesn't have as much. It does kind of around here, which is odd because I would say I use the planner more often than I did use this. There must be something different about the oils in my hand on a Sunday. Holy oils on a Sunday. This is was my planner. And I really enjoyed this. I'm trying to get to the point where I switched to Hobonichi. This is my story. It's not thought out, but that's where I'm going. I really enjoyed it. It was undated, vertical, and I would essentially write all the stuff I needed to do on the left. If anything spilled over onto the right, that was fine. But like this was March. This was the 2nd to the 8th, and then the 9th to the 15th was here as well. And then the 16th to the 22nd. So this was actually 2 weeks because I didn't have as much to write down this week since I was going to Art Journaling the Magic. This was 2020. This was PTSD. Not really. Thank goodness. That's the one thing I probably don't have a trauma from. But yeah, this was the week that everything shut down. Look, I've even written it there. Disney shutting down. This is why I can't read my journals when I'm online because, I mean, look, the photos. I get way too thrown back into my memories. I'm too nostalgic to just look through these things and not just go nuts. Anyway. Memory to Memento, that was hilarious. Launching a travel workshop during a pandemic. Love that for everyone. What was that? I was saying love that for me, but love that for everyone. There you go. I'm really, really relaxed today. So, brain may or may not be here. Anyway, why am I showing you all of this? It is basically, this is how I was using my planner. That's why. This is how I was using it. Photos, stickers, lots of color, random bits and pieces, just putting stuff in here. We did Virtual Voyage in here. Wow, look at all that planning. Lots of planning. So I really loved it. I got to, August, and this is where I got my Hobonichi. Hobonichi arrived August 20, and then I switched over to it. So there's actually more in here, and the best thing about an undated is if I wanted to come back to this, I could. In fact, that's hilarious. August, I stopped this literally a year ago. So this, okay, retitling this whole video, a year in my Hobonichi planners. Honestly, that's what it is. Oh no, I just flicked one of my patches off. Oh, it's on the floor somewhere. Sorry, this is a mess, this video. But whatever, we're hanging out. Anyway, so I've been in here for a year. Got cat pics in here. The difference mainly for me was the size, but when you think about it, in that, even though the book got smaller, the actual passages were only this big for a day, and now I had a full day to finish. So this is, I guess not the conundrum is not the right word, but there was suddenly a lot more space I could play with, destashing all of my stickers, my photos, my ephemera, everything. So this is where it all ends up. So this became a catch-all, glue book, any type of thing, but it is primarily a planner. The only reason I have these is to plan, and I do plan. I use the monthly. Oh look, there's half a mask in there. I use the monthly here. I've actually kind of changed this. There's a photo spread. Oh, by the way, if you want these templates, I have them on my website. It's linked in the description. You can go download those. I use the monthly to plan out what I'm going to do, which is super important for me because I like to be able to glance at the things that need to get done in a month. And I don't use a weekly. That's probably the thing that I had to get adjusted to because I was so used to looking at only a weekly that now I have a monthly and a daily, and I have to keep the weekly in my head. Although I will usually, like on this section here, So this to me is 1 week. This little bit here, I treat as a weekly, this little column. So that whole planner I used to have before, essentially I've like simplified it into this little column. This is the weekly. And so if something doesn't get done up in this week, I then will literally just move it down to the next week. I wonder if I have any versions of that I can show you. I've had one that I moved down. I think it was a class that I was supposed to film for Mindy, and I just kept moving it down and down and down because I had a long line to do. Yeah, there, illustrative flair. I had a class that I was supposed to record, and I just kept moving it because I was doing other things, and then I put the arrow and it just kept going down and down and down. So I'll kind of de-escalate those tasks if I need them for the weekly. And then this is not how I decorate the months as I go through. This is probably a more accurate reflection of what they look like when I'm in there and just working on it. And then once it's finished, I got really used to just like decorating everything. And this is a great place to kind of put all my little stickers, my little washi tapes, my little sticky picks, Collage Club stickers, my Art Stack stickers. Oh, I have some more of those actually. We could put these in today. And I just really enjoyed that. Oh look, June isn't done. I could do June. July, I switched over to my current planner, so this was just a photo spread. These are all just life photos, things that I find funny. Tyra Banks, Jennifer Coolidge, family, my sister, my nephew, my mom, Ab Fab, my Cabbage Patch Kid, my best friend, little baby niece, Savannah. This is just so fun to look at. This is my sister. I can't go here, I'm getting too distracted. All of this is about destashing. I'm going to get so sidetracked just talking about planner stuff and memories. I think I want to put some of these in here, Dorothy. These were actually from Virtual Voyage 4, when we did Mary Blair style in the last week, and we were looking at Toy Story. And these were Mary Blair style illustrations of the toys that I had as a kid. So I've got a Sky Dancer, my 2 Barbies that I loved. This one was a mermaid jewel hair Teresa, and this was Dorothy, Obvi. Furby, Glowworm, knitted doll called Nancy, Mr. Badger, a Bratz doll head. Sea monkeys, my tragic sea monkey story. I think I just want these ones for now. Oh, I have to put this in as well. Steve got me this for my birthday. Let's go find the 27th of July. Where's my planner? So then I would just plan, and I still go daily. I go and have a look at the things I want to get achieved in a day. Sometimes though, like I feel really terrible when it's an off day because I just write off. Look, day off. But that's why a page in 10 has been so great, because these are lessons from that series. I've been finding ways to make use of the paper. I don't feel super guilty if there are blank pages. Like I don't get really upset about that. But if I can find a way to play, I will definitely try. And I think that's fun. Like I really, for the longest time, didn't have a good sense about just doing whatever I wanted to do, wherever I wanted to do it, because I felt like if one of the journals started to turn out really nice, I didn't want to ruin it by doing things that were pretty random and just like hodgepodge. But then I didn't have a specific place for that type of stuff, so the planner kind of was that for me. And by the longest time, I mean up until I had a sketch planner, which was 2018? I had the sketch planner? I think it was. Couldn't have been 2017. I think it was 2018. So this is Celine. Steve put this on the cover of a magazine that he gifted me for my birthday. Because we're going to see Celine Dion. He got me tickets to go. Actually, I don't know if he got the tickets or if the present was the promise of buying the tickets. Either way, I'm going to go see Celine. Love Celine. And I love this very subtle look that she wore. Always try to crease over the spine and then close it one way and then close it the other way. That's just make sure that nothing gets too bulky and that it lays flat when you open it, it doesn't pull on anything. Nice. Cut some of these up as well. Actually don't mind if these are a little more messy cuts. So I go to the daily, I write whatever I want to get done in the day. Sometimes I will go ahead and write something in the future if I really, really can't forget it. Like I've got a meeting or something. It's quite rare, but since I started working for Art Snacks, I think one of the first times I had a meeting, I was late because I did not do the time conversion properly, which was terribly unprofessional of me, and I really was angry at myself for it. But so stuff like that, if on the rare chance I have something I have to make sure is there, I'll write it. That way when I go to my planner first thing in the day, I'll see if I've got something that I need to do. But I will be honest, sometimes I'm a little complacent and a little lazy because there are things that just happen that I already know about. Like I already knew I was going to film a video for YouTube today, so I didn't write that in there. And because I haven't been to my planner today, because it was kind of the only thing on my mind, I have to teach tonight as well, but I already knew that in my mind. I'm kind of lucky that I'm not super busy all the time. So I actually don't need it to keep track of anything. It's more just planning, literally like the planning part of it, managing my time, not trying to remember what I've got to do. I'm not so busy that I'll forget the things that I have to do, but I do need somewhere that I can kind of see what my month will look like so I can delegate tasks appropriately. But throughout the week, like, it would come as a shock to me if something just popped up out of nowhere. That just rarely happens. So I'm not someone that like lives by the planner, and to be honest, I think the thing that really keeps me going back to it is that I've allowed it to become this kind of destash glue-all book. You know what, I'm going to put this, where do I want this? I thought I wanted that on my birthday as well. I may have it just before my birthday. I got this is my Sky Bambi information. This is a Tombow mono adhesive tape runner. But yeah, I don't live and die by the planner. And I'm not in any kind of planner communities. When did I get this? July. I probably already got something on here. It doesn't matter. I'll just put it here. That looks north. See, look, there's nothing on this day. Oh, it's care tips. That's what it is. Oh, these are cute. Job's Journal stickers. That looks nice. Put them up there. Kind of teams with the theme. Oh, why am I putting it in this journal again? I'm such a fool. If I don't remind myself, I just get carried away. I'm supposed to be working in here, looking for blank pages to destash my junk onto. I don't consider those blank. I'm going to put that there because I don't need to see all that. I don't need to see that. Clock that reference. For those of you who don't know, I'll just let you know. It's it's a series called The Comeback with Lisa Kudrow, which is honestly one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my entire life. It's so camp. It's just perfect. This is from a washi tape packaging. I accidentally ripped it, but I still want it. See, that's how much of a paper hoarder I can be. I'll keep the junky ripped pieces. And this needs an Art Snack Snicker. You have no idea how many times I've had to redo voiceovers because I say Art Snack Snicker. A Snickers bar. We need this. Steve gave me this one when he was packing orders one day and was like, "This one's dirty, what do you want me to do about it?" I was like, "Can you clean it?" And he goes, "No, that's too much effort." So the dirty sticker sheet became mine. I have a new sticker sheet actually. This one's the old one. The new one has lots of little squares on it. This one only had the 4 and the bar. But that's fine. Love that. What else have I got on here? This is cute. Don't think it's gonna fit though. I might just trim off the edges. I got this from Lost Girl Watercolors. I believe they're her illustrations on the front. Aren't they cute? all the different Disney characters. It's quite thick, so I wouldn't put anything this thick into my journal while I'm working in it. Like, I wouldn't put this in my current one, but these ones that are finished, I'm not going to be doing a whole lot of drawing and writing in there, so I actually don't care how chunky they get, just as long as it stays in there. Like, if it's too thick to actually glue down, I won't bother. But if I can get it to stay, it's going in. Better in there than floating around and getting lost somewhere. And then I'll always remember that it came from Lost Girl watercolor. See, look, I've got all that random packaging in there. Let's put it here. Oh, it's got a note on the back. I'm gonna have to just glue it down because I don't want it flipping out since it's so heavy. It'll tear on the page. But I'll just put a little note under there. I'm going to put Lost Girl watercolors, July 2021, B-Day present from Sammy. There we go. I got this cute little set called Wildest Ride. Has the most beautiful colors in it, and I'm endlessly fascinated with her like special mixes. These were beautiful browns, and I always struggle to get really nice browns. This is like super rich, kind of red brown, and a really deep one. But this one here, this patina color, I thought once I mixed it in the pan, it would all kind of just mush around. But then once I took the layer off again, it's all just in there. Like, that's how it's swirled in there. It's so fun. It does create a really nice, like, kind of patina effect. It's got that metallic to it, but the metallic doesn't all just muddle together. It still kind of stays dispersed in it. I mean, obviously if you scrub it, it will, but in that dynamite, it's super hot. I really like these colors. That's Lost Girl watercolor, just in case you were wondering. Handmade watercolors, some of my faves. This is another piece of that packaging. I'm gonna try and find a home for. Yeah, sorry, I didn't think I had any more thoughts on planners, because honestly, how much more could you say? There might have been a more analytical approach I could have taken, but at the end of the day, they're just to make sure that you keep planning, right? Like, if you're managing to do your plans and stay on top of your plans, it's working. So keep doing it. If it's not working for you, if you're not using your planner, and if you're not staying on top of your plans, it's not working. I mean, I don't know how much more simple to make it. I find that a lot of the hype that I think we get caught up in is actually just the marketing of it all, like the consumerism of it all. And I'm not against that at all, because hype is what made me buy into Hobonichi, and there's definitely, you know, valid reasons to like go in and look at all of that. But I think I've just been really focused lately on being more of an informed consumer and taking everything very objectively, like trying to notice where the marketing is and what the marketing's trying to do, and then substantiating anything I can, letting anything go that I can't substantiate, and then just move on. Like, choose whether it's for me or not. And it gets to a point where, honestly, like, it's hard to know if it's for you unless you're actually using it and it's in your hands. So if you can, like, the Avec is a good way to commit to like half, or I guess you buy the both, so you're still committing to a year. But I think anything, you should give it a good go. It's like if you start a new skincare routine, or if you start a new diet, like if you give it a go for a couple of weeks and you're only kind of half in it, you're actually not going to know if it works. And then there comes this like really crucial part that I think I've struggled with before, and many people do struggle with. It's like, how honest are you willing to be with yourself? Like, it's okay to say, I'm just a lazy person. I just don't want to do any of this. Or I know me, I'm not good at X, Y, and Z. And then actually apply that logic to the stuff that you're considering. Because, like, I'm suggesting what I'm suggesting because this is what I like and what it works for me. But this is so not going to work for many people. I don't even know how many different people that aren't doing content creation regarding to art journaling would even need more than a couple of journals, like one with watercolor paper, one that's maybe a big one, maybe a small one, and a planner. Like maybe you'll have 3 or 4. It's just so unrealistic that when I look around this room, there are, I would dare say, like 100 journals I can literally see with my eyes. Maybe that's an exaggeration. I'm looking at least 50, but that's just insane. Like, who needs that many? The thing for me is that, like, I will pull things out for different reasons, different tasks. My travel journal was different to my planner, is different to my virtual voyage journals, is different to my Disney journals, my Golden Book journals, is different to my traveler's notebooks, is different to my 5-year. Like, they're all different things. But there is a benefit to me having all of that because that's what I make content about. That's how I work. That's where I get my money from. So that makes sense. And I often say, Steve made me this, that if I weren't working in it, I would just do something different. And I don't even know if I would have a planner if I wasn't working in it. I imagine that my real journals would look somewhat like this, just lots of writing and scribbles and notes and plans with drawings thrown in and out of different seasons of my life. And then all the random little bits and pieces that I collect along the way because I can't seem to help myself. I'm like a magpie with this stuff. So, yeah, sorry I can't be more of help. But I will say that I've enjoyed it, and it still definitely works for me. I don't find myself... Like, I don't really know... This is going to be a hot take, maybe, if I word this wrong. I don't really know if it's the planner's fault sometimes that people don't achieve planner peace, or if it's just people that aren't willing to, make the plan and stick to it. Like the planner itself, Hobonichi, can't make me want to do any of the things in here. And most people have a really good idea of the things they need to get done in a certain time frame. Having a planner doesn't mean you're going to be any better at delegating your time or managing your time. It's not going to put you on a better schedule. It's just a place for you to write it out. So if the thoughts are in your head and they're not fully processed in there and you're just writing them out, it's not really going to help much. Even if you have all the thoughts and it's all processed out and you really you think you're going to do better this time, unless you're able to action what you put in there, the planner really doesn't have much of a say in that. Like the planner can't, stop you before you leave the house and say, hey, you've got this to go and do. The planner itself can't pick up your hands and do anything. And so I find a lot of people saying planner piece are generally talking about maybe how, oh goodness, this is where the wording's going to come out wrong. Well, I'm not talking about anyone in particular, so it doesn't really matter, but I feel like a lot of the time what I'm hearing is people are actually more upset with their inability to stay on track or their inability to achieve certain things throughout a certain time frame. To me, none of that sounds like it's planner related. It sounds like it's person related. The planner itself still has all the things in there. And then people try different systems, but the systems aren't because they work better in one book than another. Like a bullet journal system doesn't work any better in an A5 than it does in an A6. Like it's all just a way that you write it down. But the people that are doing like a bullet journal system are doing it because they themselves think that will be more beneficial to like strategize in their brain. And it may actually work for that. But if you're not doing the things in here, the strategizing really means nothing. So, I don't imagine a lot of people, if they're making plans and not getting them done, actually feel any peace at all. And it is actually kind of like a nice place to be able to blame something and say, well, it was my planner that was making me not have planner peace. But at the end of the day, it's paper in a size bound. So unless the fact that like you're using paper that you just hate the feeling of and like that's the reason you don't want to plan anything, the planning still happens in your head anyway. I don't know. I shouldn't talk for much more because I feel like I've already avoided stepping my foot in it too much, but I do often wonder because I don't think I experience a lot of the same issues with regards to planner peace. I think the only thing I've ever looked for is what size feels right and what is something I like the look of. And I really like the look. You know what, maybe I'll try and put this near Virtual Voyage. I really like the look of the Hobonichis because the Japanese reminds me of when I used to live in Japan, so it feels very nostalgic to work in a Hobonichi for me. And I like the A6 size because I do know that I have this urge to decorate and to use lots of the paper, and A5 would just be too big. So that was just more of a logical choice. But if I came in here and planned everything and didn't do the things that were in here, or if I had the planner but I just didn't use it, you know what I mean? Like if I was in here planning for a week and a half and then was like, oh great, I'm doing so well, and then just didn't come back to it for 5 weeks, maybe that would make me feel guilty. But I did that in the undated one, and to be honest, it didn't really make me feel guilty. It was kind of better when I had a holiday because I didn't have, 2 weeks that were just blank that said off. Now if I've got holidays, I have to fill them with pictures if I want to use that paper, which is also actually a nice thing to do because it's kind of like scrapbooking. Yeah, I don't know. I'm most likely very unqualified to speak on any of this because I'm not a planner girl. Like, I'm not in the planning community as and as invested as many people are. And there are obviously more varied reasons for people choosing the way that they choose. But beyond actually choosing the size you like, the layout you like, the company you like, the color you like, I don't know what more peace a planner could afford you if you yourself weren't willing to do what you needed to do to get peace from all of those plans. And this planner, the only thing it makes me want to do is come back to it so I can add more of my junk to it, which I actually enjoy. I often credit my enjoyment for planning as coming from the switch from I guess, I don't know if I ever really planned without a lot of ephemera. Even when I used to have diaries, I would keep little stickers in there and draw little things in there. So I've always kind of decorated them a lot. But in this format, just putting anything and everything I can get in there, this makes me want to come back to my journal all the time because now it becomes this kind of, I associate it with a nice, relaxing, cut and paste, as Inky would say, a stick and plonk session. I just get to enjoy that when I come to sit down at it, and that really works for me. There aren't as many fully blank pages as I thought. Here's some more ephemera. So I will be buying, all of this to say, I will be buying a Hobonichi again next year, and I'm not looking to change the size. It works for me. I'm not even going to say I found my planner piece, because after my discussion I think it would be a little odd for me to say that I actually really care that much about planner piece. I care about the planner being there and serving its purpose, which beyond having a place to write down my plans, I don't see what else it's really there to do, except be the place to record it and then the place to check back on it. But the rest of me getting peace over my plans is, I'm just leaving that up to me. And I don't even really have any hard and fast rules about it. Let's be real. I do what I need to get the job done. If I don't, I'm pretty honest with myself about why that didn't happen. I don't have a problem saying I was just lazy. Sometimes I even factor it in. I've literally, I don't know if I've told this so publicly before. I think maybe I said it in Virtual Voyage, but I have scheduled breakdowns before. Sounds so terrible. Not full-on mental breakdowns, but throughout Virtual Voyage, it's a workshop that runs live, and I have to be prepared for the fact that there may or may not be things that happen that could take me out of that process. And I can't just start a live workshop and then just not be there. So I had to put in these kind of safety measures just for my own personal kind of mental well-being, in case anything should happen. And I'll just relay it really quickly back to, if you've been around for a long time, you might know that I suffer from PTSD, and specifically related to earthquakes. And so I live in California, Southern California, and sometimes we do have little earthquakes, and a few years ago we had one that kind of shook me up a little bit, pun intended, and I just needed to take a week off because I was dealing with it better than I thought I was, but that one really kind of caught me off guard and just shook everything around. So, why do I keep going there? laughter is a good medicine for it. But yeah, with Virtual Voyage, when I plan it in advance. I get a lot of the content done before we even really start. And there is still stuff that I have to do, but there are days full, like buffering days within that live experience, even if it's a 2-week one, where I can take like a full mental health, like day off if I need to, for whatever reason. I could just be sad, and let's be real, sometimes I just get sad and I want to take a day to watch watch sad movies, listen to sad songs, cry. I think that's just really healthy. There may not even be like really good reasons for it. I used to like just not want to share those emotions or speak them out loud because I felt guilty for having strong emotions about things that were so ridiculous in the grand scheme of things. But that's why I thought, like, well, if I just take this day off and just process it by myself and cry it out, then it's really not a huge problem. Like, that's allowed. I can do that. So I will do that. I don't really call them anything in here, like I don't schedule anything, but sometimes I'll just say mental health day off. And that's kind of like, for myself, just a judgment-free day. But, you know, all of that's super personal as well, like how people plan that for themselves, I wouldn't even feel comfortable suggesting. I feel like that's for a therapist to suggest. Certainly not me. I'm not a doctor or anything, but, you know, if you do run your own business, you're probably also like fully aware of the fact that since you're the one planning all of your events, since you're the one who is running your business, you are the one who decides what days you're going to have on and off. And I have never been the best at scheduling myself appropriately. And so my planner is a good reminder of that for me too. If I see too many days side by side and no day off scheduled anywhere, that will be a good signal for me to take care of myself a little bit. And it's also hard, like, I did get better at taking days off. I still don't take typical weekends off. I usually only take one day off. I try to take one day off a week, but if not, one day off every couple of weeks. And then I take holidays as well. Like I just took a 2-week holiday-ish in July. Yeah, it gets hard when you don't schedule that stuff, but also if you're not taking the time out to celebrate any of your successes. Like, I remember when there were big milestones in my life that I actually used to go out and celebrate, and then these days it's like, if you don't sit there and think, oh, you just finished a 2-week, you know, online workshop and you were teaching and it was successful and it was everything you wanted, if you don't actually celebrate that, no one else comes in and celebrates it for you. So even that, sometimes I will plan like just little moments to celebrate myself. I know it sounds pretty intense, but let's be real. This is how I'm using my journal, and there's no shame in my game. I'm putting this in here. I picked up the Japanese one for nostalgic reasons, but also there's no English one. Unless this is the English one, and this is exactly the same, it just has a different cover. That could be it. I could never have enough, so I will definitely use both. I'm going to put this in my current planner because I just went back yesterday, so I'll put it on yesterday's. And that is probably all my thoughts I have about planners. For the cover, I want to get another Mina Peronen piece cover. There were a few others I looked at, nothing I got taken with, and now I don't know if I just want to be that person that gets the piece cover every time. The problem with getting the piece cover, like these ones, is that they're a lottery sale, so it's not a guarantee. You go into a lottery to win the right to purchase it. And I definitely don't want to lose, because there are resellers that really jack up that price if you don't win the lottery. And I've liked my piece cover. I could always just use the same cover next year, but not only is this my job, this is also my passion, and it's just a really nice way to treat myself with a little gift that kind of relates back to my life and my work, right? My career at this point. I had a fun, interesting thought the other day. August 18th was the anniversary of my car accident, which shifted me out of my career as a dancer into being, not straight away, but I eventually became, mixed media artist and work this now. This is my career. And it was 2015, which is 6 years ago, and I was a professional dancer for 7 years. So I've almost been a mixed media artist as long as I had been a professional dancer, which to me does not sound right. I feel like I've been doing this for 2 years. So this is crazy. I thought I was a dancer my entire life, and then this I've done in the past 2 years. It's not making any sense to me. It's very much like that meme that said the difference between 1939 to 1980 is the same difference between, 1980 till now or something? I don't know. All of that to say, it was a bit of a weird revelation that I had, because in my mind, I think I've done so much better of a job at protecting my passion for art and for journaling and documenting and scrapbooking and all these kind of creative visual arts. I think I protected it so much better with it being my career than I ever protected my passion for dance when it was my career. Don't get me wrong, I loved it, but there was rarely a time you would catch me dancing outside of actually performing on stage. It wasn't something I did in my spare time or as a hobby or as something just to enjoy. I would rarely go to classes. I mostly just liked to perform it on stage and then live my life. And I would do art on the side. But now I go to Zumba all the time, and I do this as my job, but then I do all the personal side to it as well. I turn the cameras off, I turn the internet off, and I basically just log my brain off the business portion of it, and I just indulge in stickers and drawings and paintings and journaling and even things like buying nice covers for it. I honestly feel like I invest into that joy of it still being my passion, not just something I work in, which is so important. And it was something that I really wanted to promise myself I would protect after knowing just some of the decisions I made as a dancer when I didn't protect that as much. Because when your hobby and your passion, when they collide with your job, sometimes the job can just leach out so much of the joy you have for it. And if you don't actively work against it, it's just inevitable. And depending on who you are and what your kind of individual struggles were, mine were very financial. So the more I focused on money, the less I enjoyed any of it. And made big decisions, big life-changing decisions that were solely based on money. Well, I can't say solely, there are a few other things, but all of that to say, I really wanted to protect that for my journaling and my art and crafts, because I've always loved that, and I didn't want my opinion and my view to change just because I started doing it as a job. But that's not inevitable. Sometimes that can happen. It's not unfixable, by the way, just in case you are a content creator out there and you're kind of struggling with that. It's not unfixable, it just takes a little bit of discipline. And yes, discipline sucks. Everyone hates it. We all hate it. No one really wants to, and that's fine. But it is a choice, and you can undo some of that damage if you accidentally found yourself not enjoying it anymore. Because the funny thing about it being with social media, and this part I could never relate to with dancing, is that when it was with dance, no one really cared. My feelings were just kind of mine, and they were in an echo chamber of my own head. But with this, if you're working in social media, you have that extra pressure of having to keep up appearances of still liking it. And I, as someone that does this a lot, I hear and I see when people are struggling with that, because there are certain phrases that come out, or even certain headspaces that you've been in, and I've certainly been there before, where if you really pick apart the words, you're actually hearing people vent their frustrations about it, but it's coming across in a very passive, light-hearted way. But if you just search beneath the surface of those words, it's oh, you're not enjoying this anymore. One of the tells for me, and this is not for everyone, please, I'm so not a language analysis expert or anything, but something that was very telling for me that I used to see in a lot of creators, and still see from time to time, is people who would really say they wanted to do something and they're really excited about doing something and then never found the time to do it. And whilst I believe they were actually excited about the thoughts of the projects, if you're actually not passionate about it, the follow through is non-existent. And so people who kept saying they were going to do things and just needing to find the time to do it, mind you, this is a full-time job for a creator. So if my every day, Monday through Monday, every day of the year is art journal and content creation, and I can't find the time to do art journaling content, you don't have to pick that apart too much to realize what's going on. And look, there are many different reasons for why that happens. I'm not here to diagnose everybody or anyone really, but I noticed that one of the other tells I saw sometimes was people saying, if you just need to, like, I just need to get this done quickly. Or like, I just need to get this done. Like, if you're doing this and you just want to get your journal page finished, I would often question, like, why do you need to get it finished? And I thought the only way, like, it's kind of rare. I don't hear many people when they're art journaling get mad about not finishing. They might question, how do you know when it's finished? But a lot of people, when they get sketchbooks as kids, or even like when you're just starting out art journaling, you're not perpetually angry that you can't get things finished. But then I think some people adopted this idea that you had to get it finished because, you know, we started showing lots of finished spreads and social media made you think a certain thing. But for us, it makes complete sense to be frustrated by it not finishing up quick enough because my camera's going. The camera battery might be running out, the SD card might be losing space, I might be losing light, like if I'm using natural light, or I might need to edit the video and get it up before a certain time frame, or I've got a project looming and I need to get this done so I can get to that. The reason we would want to get it finished seems to be a lot more pressing and urgent than the actual need to get any journal page finished. It's just a journal page. Then, like I said, there's obviously room for, you know, discrepancy in all of this logic, but for the majority of people, it's actually not that pressing. You don't need to finish the journal page then and there. It usually feels that way for some of those other reasons as far as content creation goes. And that's not to say that anyone saying this stuff doesn't like their job, but I can definitely relate to when your feelings about it start to be impacted, when you're not speaking about it as if it is the passion that you say it is. Because really, maybe you can't prove that someone hates it, but you can really quickly see if someone's not loving it. The way you speak about things that you enjoy and that you love is very telling. Why am I literally trying to put every bit of this, this book belly band in here? I'm going to get it in. I don't know why, but I just need to. Just more junk. That's what my mum would say. More junk. I'm not quite sure why I got onto that talking point, but I hope that it does help if you're out there and you struggle with anything that I've said before. I'm not even really here to talk about struggles today. I just wanted to share that I'm still loving my planner setup and I have no desire to change it. Oh. Bell. Steve gave me these. I don't know where they came from. It's not really sticking. Yeah, definitely not looking to change my setup at all. Can you get some washi tape? But yeah, I think I'm going to go for the lottery for the Mina Peronen piece cover. Again, A6. I was almost considering buying myself a new cover for my 5-year Hobonichi, but I like the cover that I have. And in my head, my 5-year Hobonichi is a red journal. Like, it's here. I can't not see it in this cover, and I got this cover when we went to Kyoto, so it does have personal significance to me. Like, I actually got it from the Tobichi store, so I really can't switch that up for personal reasons. Doesn't that sound insane? I know I'm not the only one out there like that, so I'll let it sound insane. Oh, this. I want to put this in here. I have to cut a bit of this off as well. This was when I got my notebook that I think I want to use. This is from Job's journal. This is a traveler's notebook, but it's all pre-decorated. He did such a beautiful job putting this together. It's very retro, kind of kitschy Christmas, but also a little Asian influence in there as well. And I thought it was just perfect for me to use for a December daily. But I think I bought it too late to use it for the December, and then I think I just had it. Did he bring this out last year? It doesn't say on here. It may have been last year or the year before. In any case, I was too late to use it, but I think I'm going to keep it out and try and use it this year. I'm not sure if he still sells them in his store, but I am very excited to use that. I'm just going to fill it with pictures. I just want to take pictures of everything. I love Christmas so much. I can never have enough. Where do I want to put it? Let's put it here. I can even put pictures from old Christmases in there. I've been printing out lots of random photos. Because I just bought a whole big pack of glossy label paper. I just sit at the computer and just go through literally the archives of my personal photo collection. This is all random stuff. Got some stickers. I'm gonna put these on my month. These are cute stickers, but I don't know the brand because they were actually sent to me by my washi tape manufacturer. They do this thing where when I make an order, they send me a whole bunch of samples. Not just me, they do it to everyone. But it's to encourage you to switch up your styles of like stickers so that you can order more, but I don't do clear stickers. They are nice quality though, so if I did, I would definitely use the manufacturer for them. And I used to be a little more precious about like, oh, I don't want to use all of these at once. Now I have a weird like sticker destash problem where if I get this sheet in my hand, I want to use all of them so I can throw the sheet away. Oh. Don't let me near your sticker sheets if we ever do a meetup or anything. Just say goodbye to all of them. More art snacks sticker. Put this up here. Actually, I'm going to use these as well. This is a part of it's like a thank you postcard I use on Etsy, but it's just a bunch of stickers. How many are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12, 18. There's 18 stickers in this square, and then there's one JLB Creative sticker. I don't know where, there it is. That's where I put it. I used to give out little flyers, but then I wanted something that was usable, because I noticed people were putting them in their journal, but people that weren't, I thought maybe it was just too much of a hassle to cut it up and use it. So then I made a first version of this sticker sheet that I used to give out, and now I give out this one. Just wanted to change it because I made a new order. But these are all little photos I took of my stationery. And they're actually a part of Collage Club as well. And I have a washi tape called Stationery Squares. They're the same thing here. I'll show you. This washi tape. It's a 2 centimeter washi tape, or is it 1.5? I think it's 2. It's 2 centimeters. So it's kind of thicker than my regular ones. And there's more photos on the tape than there is on that sticker sheet, but these are just pictures I took of stationery from around my desk. Steve took some of them as well. I love this tape. Use some of this. Just so colorful. Put some here. But I just think it's a nice way to say thank you for shopping on my store. And you actually get to use it. It's a little more expensive than I would want for a little thank you sticker, but it is worth it to me. So I just eat that cost, which is fine. It all works out in the end. I order 1,000 of them, so it definitely does scale down a little bit. I couldn't do it for a small batch, that's for sure. The biggest problem for me is not using them all. Give me a whole stack of these sticker sheets, like I can go through them. I'm gonna save some of those for later. Augustus, save some for later. That's my best impression of that lady. I'm gonna put this green star on my Zumba. I love going to Zumba. I'm obsessed. I first started dancing when I was like 7, and I did jazz and ballet and tap and acrobatics and all like the random just regular dance styles that you would do if you're going to be a competition dancer and then a production show dancer, which just was that's how it worked out for me. But I didn't know anything about Latin and ballroom until I got to work at Royal Caribbean. And one of the shows we did was called Invitation to Dance, and it was Latin ballroom. And I hated it at first because I was so intimidated and I couldn't do it. I was very bad at it. It was also my first time working for Royal, and I thought I was going to get fired because I just couldn't manage to pick it up. And then I also cried in Target because of it. But that's a story for another time. Should I put this here? I didn't think this through. It's huge. I'll put it here. Great. But then I fell in love with it. Like, absolutely loved it. I went and saw the show Burn the Floor in Miami, and it was so good. And ever since then, I just absolutely loved doing it. So Zumba is really fun for me because it's kind of hip hop and funk. I don't know. Would you really call it that? Let's not. Meets aerobics, which is just so camp, and I love that. Meets Latin ballroom. And that's where I feel like it just kind of hits all those boxes for me. That is just, it's like so outrageous. And I'm no shame. When I go to the gym, I mean, I am literally a few days away from just getting a gold coin skirt and just going nuts with it. But I just love it. I love it. And the gyms that I go to, because I go to a few different ones that all offer it, it's the same franchise, but they just have different locations. I just go whenever there's a Zumba class on, I just go, and everyone is so nice in there. And that to me was the biggest thing. Like, I don't love to go to the gym, and I used to just have workout incorporated into my life because I was doing shows all the time, so I didn't really need to think about it that much. But ever since I work at a desk and I work at a computer, like, I just didn't realize how much I was moving around in my life before. So it's always been a struggle since I didn't perform anymore. But going to Zumba often is like, I wouldn't say it's a replacement, but it is definitely helping with a lot. Like, just a lot. Even feeling better. Like, it's not really about the weight loss for me. It's more about getting myself active, building up my stamina. Obviously, I want to lose a little bit of weight, but just feeling like I've gone and performed and danced and like gotten it out of my body, because I don't know, it's been pent up for so long. And I was doing it before the pandemic, but obviously that all went on hold, and then now I'm doing it again. I did it intermittently throughout, like when the gym had reopened, but it was kind of difficult to do it with the mask because I would take a deep breath and just have a whole mouthful of mask. So now I just go back and, vaxxed. Everything's good. It's certainly a lot nicer to be able to just go for it. But I'm more proud of myself recently because I've been getting through the whole thing without stopping. Like, even when I was a professional dancer, I kind of struggled to get through it because it's a really intense cardiovascular workout. I mean, all my ladies will know. If you do Zumba, you know. But it is nuts. So I'm really happy with my progress, but I've been so many times this month, I'm not surprised that it's getting a little better. You would hope so, right? But I'm not going tonight. I'm teaching at WAS tonight, Art Drilling the Magic, Wizarding Artist Society. This video, how long is this video? I've just been chatting here for so long. I need to let you go. I'm going to put this star in there. I'm going to let you go because I've got to go and get myself ready to go and teach at some point. But I'm excited to teach. I teach every other month at Wizarding Artists Society. So August, October, November, December are my next 2 months scheduled to teach live. And it's usually the last Friday of the month is when those classes are. It'll be nice to see everyone again. I'm going to try and angle this between all these stars. Where is it going to fit? There, that's good. Alright, I'll let you go there. That's all I wanted to do, just destash a little bit. I thought I was going to do a lot more, but I got to chatting, which is always a great thing. I shared a lot about the planners. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. If I did, I'm sure I'll just speak about it somewhere else. Thanks for allowing me to be a bit more casual today, and I guess not allowing. I didn't ask for your permission. But if you've stayed this long, I'm assuming that you were along for the ride with me. But thank you nonetheless for joining me for this video. Like I said, I'm going to do this again next year. It's working for me. Love the size, love the paper. Even I think they're going to try and find an alternative to the Tomoe River paper because apparently they're not going to make it anymore. Next year's, it seems like they're still on Tomoe River paper, so not expecting much of a change. I don't think much changed the layout in these books. I think it's still exactly the same. Like I said, I'm going to do the piece cover if I can manage to get it, the Mina Peronen piece cover. If not, I might look at another one of the other covers. None that really stick out to me as like must-haves, but I do love the piece. And I will keep doing more of the destashing in these books as well. They kind of just hang around by the desk, so that anytime I've got little bits and pieces I need to throw in somewhere, I just put them in here. Really great little catch-all little books. So they'll be super eclectic and mixed by the time they're fully finished. Any other info to share? I think that's it. I'm doing my Collage Club video behind the scenes, so I'll keep working on that. Hopefully you'll see that next week when Collage Club comes out for September on the 1st. Yeah, all right. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Thanks for being here with me. I'll see you again another time soon. That's all from me. Goodbye.